What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a updated, yes, finally an updated Spellbook deck profile. After I did the last profile, which was quite a long time ago, I sort of fell out of interest with the deck, but recently I've been wanting to look into it again, and I've just been having so much fun with it, and I want to continue to keep playing it even more so than I did in the past. And by the way, the response on the last Spellbook deck profile, like, quickly becoming one of my most viewed videos on the entire channel, which is absolutely insane. So if you watch that video, you left a comment or anything with it, like, thank you so much for the response on that. And I took a lot of that feedback and put it into the recent testing I've been doing on stream with this build. By the way, if you're not following on Twitch, the link is in the description if you'd like to follow. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started, but real quick, shout out to our sponsors at Imperium Duelist. If you want to pick up any of these awesome gaming accessories, any of these beautiful sleeves, the parallel sleeves here, or the Sandstorm Effect sleeves that I'm rocking, or any of these like heart-shaped sleeves, like they're just some amazing high-quality sleeves that I've been using for like a couple months now, 6+ months. And this beautiful tour guide playmat designed by Tom Box from MSTTV. Beat Cop on this side and tour guide on this side. Beautiful 2-player cloth playmat. Absolutely one of the nicest mats ever used. If you want to pick up any of this stuff or some of their new dice they're coming out with, check out the links in the description. You can use that code WINNERKILLS10 off to save 10% on all future purchases, helping you guys save a little bit, help support me in the process. A bit of a win-win if you ask me. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the profile, and also have some of these shatter foil sleeves in here as well, because I'm borrowing some extra deck monsters from other decks. But we'll go ahead and get into the profile. I'm really excited to get to this profile, and I did order some cards for it, and they're not here yet, but I made some nice proxies, and I'm still going to go ahead and go through the profile just because I'm that eager. So to start, triple Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, the main go-to searcher for the deck. The fact that he's considered a Spellbook card is very nice. For those that don't know what he does, basically if he's normal summon or flip face up, you add a Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand, and which is one of the main points of this deck and how it operates is it's using its Spellbook spell cards. Most of you might know this deck from the past. Very, very powerful deck of the past. And then we have two Justice of Prophecy. I was considering playing Temperance because Temperance has its ups and downs, especially when you play cards like World of Prophecy. I think Justice is a little bit better for this deck in the way that I wanted to play it. In the end phase, if you have activated a Spellbook spell card previously that turn, you can banish this card to add a level 5 or higher light or dark spellcaster type monster and a Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. So this card with the other engine we're playing here doesn't only just search Priestess, which is nice, but this card gives you a great setup going into the next turn, which is very, very helpful in some situations. I was also considering playing Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, which at this point would just be a side deck option for me. Or if you don't like playing Justice personally, you could play Temperance. But again, it has its ups and downs. And then Kaiku, of course, is another option. But moving on to High Priestess of Prophecy, basically the star of the show. Level 7, you can reveal 3 Spellbook spell cards in your hand, special from this card. And once per turn, you can banish a Spellbook spell card from your hand or graveyard and target a card on the field and destroy it. So these guys, when they get out in the field, she can pop cards by banishing Spellbook spell cards from your hand or grave. Great for removal, 2500 body. Does a lot for the deck. Although it can brick, especially since I'm not playing Temperance, there's no quick way to get it out of the deck. I mean, I guess you could search it with Prophecy or Justice of Prophecy. My bad. But I wanted to play 2 because I just wanted to not have to worry about bricking with this card as much, because it can brick. Sometimes you open it with one Spellbook, and it's hard to get a bunch of Spellbooks to your hand unless you draw really well off Knowledge and Tower and things of that nature. But yeah, that's basically it for the Spellbook Prophecy monster lineup. And then we have this other additional engine we're playing, which is the Mythical Beast engine, which I never got to try in the past, but my oh my does it work like wonders for this deck. So we have the 2 Master Cerberus and the 2 Jackal King. Basically, one of the main problems I found, especially with Knowledge being a new card, you know, it contribute a spellcaster off your field. A lot of people played that engine in the past in Sky Striker and Invoked. You know, tribute Blue Boy, send to the grave, draw 2 cards. But at that point, it was always hard unless you didn't have Priestess or, you know, Spellbook of Life or these things, or Instant Fusion to sort of use as a sacrificial target for your knowledge. It's always hard to give yourself a spellcaster that would be able to stick on board and give you a presence to still use cards like Fate and cards like Spellbook of Master and all of these things, but being able to get Cerberus on field with easily 4+ tokens so he can't be destroyed by card effects, and then next turn you can clear things by banishing, being able to perhaps like, you know, tribute normal summon Jackal if he does survive the turn, and then he can be used to negate monster effects, and these guys can get spell counters on them so easily, and the engine just works so well for the deck. Just gives you added board presence that I think the deck really needed. So I'm glad for all the people that suggested this engine to me, and I'm glad I ended up trying it. These of course are proxies. I'm still waiting for them in the mail. I ordered them yesterday, but I cannot wait to get the IRL cards because they're just going to look so fantastic in here. So that's it for the monster lineup. This is a going first deck. Didn't want to play any hand traps. You guys know I'm not a fan of hand traps. I try to play them as little as possible, unless it's a deck like Mech Knight Invoked, then it really works in there. But yeah, very minimal monster lineup. There's a lot in Junction you can do with the monster lineup. You can play Temperance as an option. You can play Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, which fits very well in here, just simply because he's a spellcaster, normal summon, does a lot for the deck. But that's it for my monster lineup for Spellbooks currently. And now we'll get into the bulk of the deck, which is your Spellbook lineup. And for me, I have 3 Spellbook of Secrets, and I wish this was all high rarity, because if there's one deck that I like being high rarity other than Mermail, even though mine's not high rarity at the moment, it was, but you know, those cards are expensive, and I'm not made of money, but you know, Spellbook of Secrets, or Spellbooks is one of those decks I should say would be pretty nice to have max rarity at some point in the future. But Spellbook of Secrets, one of the most important spellbooks in the deck. It adds a spellbook card from your deck to your hand. So not only can it search all of your other spellbook spell cards, but it can search Blue Boy, as he is called, or Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, who you then can normal summon to search again. So this card is very important. 3 Spellbook of Knowledge, one of the newer spellbooks, but great for consistency. Definitely what the deck needed. I think it still could get Judgment back very easily to 1, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, just because this deck, even with Judgment, isn't looking to win YCSs at that point, just with how power creep has existed in the game for so long. But 3 Spellbook of Knowledge is fantastic for the deck for consistency. Definitely a 3 of in my opinion. Then we have 3 Spellbook Grand Tower. This is like one of those cards that just keeps your deck going, because the deck does have a very slow play style, and the fact that it allows you to get an additional draw in your standby phase by returning a spellbook from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck is nice. It does have the option to, if it dies, it can float, summon a spellcaster of the equal to the level of spellbook spell cards in your graveyard at the time it was destroyed. Is nice, just to body block or whatever, or set up for next turn. You can summon Priestess off of it. You could, another reason why playing Kaiku perhaps could be a good card to play in here if you were looking to do so. But I had other cards in here that I wanted to play other than Kaiku, which is why I went and did that. But you could summon some of the Mythical Beast cards off it if you like. That's a way to get those cards out of the deck, especially cards like Jackal, things of that nature. Overall, Spellbook Grand Tower, phenomenal must 3 of in the deck. I think if you're gonna play this deck, you gotta play the triple Spellbook Tower. You don't need to play Terraforming though, because you can search this card out like there's no tomorrow. It's just such a fantastic card. Then we have 2 Spellbook of Fate. In my other profile I did a couple months ago, I was playing 3, but a lot of feedback was saying like 3 can brick, and boy were you guys right. And 2 I think is definitely the way to go, because you definitely, in most cases, if you can avoid it, don't want to have to search this card if you already open it, because then setting up your graveyard is a lot easier, because instead of, you know, grabbing more search cards that get more search cards to load up your graveyard for spellbooks to meet the requirements for Fate, you know, are wasted on searching Fate itself. But like Fate is still an incredible card. It has non-targeting banish removal, and it's a quick play. Still holds great power in this game to this day. Still a very potent card to play, and that's why I still love playing this deck, because it still has access to cards like Fate. And then we have 2 Spellbook of the Master. Basically, you can copy any spellbook if you control a spellcaster and have another spellbook in hand to reveal. This card allows just to load the graveyard a bit more and get more searches and things of that nature. Basically, you can copy anything if you need it to be whatever you know, you need it to be at the time, if that makes sense. 2 Spellbook of Wisdom, just because this can prevent against cards like Impermanence. Against the Sky Striker matchup, this card is huge. It just protects all your stuff from spells or traps, keeps them immune, which can be nice because a lot of your plays can be fragile to back row, so this card is nice. 2 Spellbook of Eternity, grabs back a banished Spellbook, except itself. But this card is a necessary evil. Turn 1, it's pretty bad to see, but it's just one of those cards that you have to play to recur banished Spellbooks that you are going to be banishing inevitably off of Fate. So you need to play this. Never banish this card. That is the thing. Don't ever banish it because you can't get it back, and that is a slow decline. 1 Spellbook of Power. I was playing 2 in my previous build, but again, I wanted to make room for some other things. I was considering playing 1 Wisdom as well, just because they're situational, and there are cards that you can search out for certain reasons at certain points. For me, Power made a little more sense because going first, like Power in your opening hand, isn't going to do you a whole lot, so I decided to cut that down to 1. And I'm playing 1 Spellbook of Life because with some of the extra deck targets we're playing for Instant Fusion, Spellbook of Life can make like game-changing, impactful plays to be able to revive cards like Winda and things, like because we are playing Shaddoll Winda in the extra deck. Basically, you just need to banish a spellcaster type monster from your graveyard and then reveal a Spellbook, and then you summon out a spellcaster from your grave in attack position. And it's equipped to it. It's like Spiral Big Red, I've heard people compare it to. But I don't know if I was playing this in the last build, but like it's a searchable monster reborn. That's very easy to set up at certain points in the game. Even turn 1, just locking your opponent with Winda, and being able to protect it with cards like Wisdom, let alone, like, it's just such a powerful card. And I really like it. So that is it for the entire Spellbook lineup. Lots of spells, and yes, what happens when you get anti-spelled? Yeah, you lose, okay? What else is new? That's just a thing that happens with spell-based decks. So side accordingly, alright? Side your heavy dust storms. Side your whatever, that's going to help get rid of it. Just be ready, okay? Then we have the rest of our spells, which is Call by the Grave. And only reason I mention that is because people are like, what happens if you get anti-spelled? It's like, well, what do you think happens, right? But besides that, 3 Call by the Grave. Obvious. Then we have 2 Instant Fusion, and that is actually the rest of the spells. But 2 Instant Fusion, I was thinking of playing 3 because Instant Fusion actually has way more utility in this deck than I ever thought it did. And I'll explain a little more when we get to the extra deck, especially. But like this card is just so great in here, especially with Blue Boy, and it's just a good card to play. So yeah. That's it for the spells. Then we'll go to the traps, which are double Solemn Strike, 1 Judgment, and 1 Lost Wind. Preferably, this would be 3 Lost Wind and 1 Judgment or 1 Strike, because I think Lost Wind's a little better. Again, I ordered Lost Winds today. I found one, but preferably I'd be playing 3 Lost Wind and 1 Judgment, because I think Lost Wind's really, really good for this deck. Because it can lower attack of the monsters your opponent has. It can negate them. You can get it back again when they summon something. It just has a lot of utility that I think the deck needs. It's better than playing just battle traps, because sometimes you can leave your field open, because this deck does have a slow start most cases. So you do need to keep that in mind, and traps are very important for the deck. I was considering Reckless. But your draw is too important regardless, even if you do have Spellbook Tower to get it back. But I think Lost Wind was a great card. Shout out to my friend Adam for suggesting this card to me. I know it's not in the profile, but look, I'm going to put them in when they get here. Probably go 3 Lost Wind, maybe a Judgment or a Torrential or something, I don't know. But trap lineup is subjective though. I think Lost Wind is a very, very good choice. So that is it for the 40 card main deck. Now we go into the extra deck. So we'll start with Links. 1 Link Karibo. This is not because we play any level 1s, but because we do play, the Thousand Eyes Restrict. He's a level 1. That's how you take a card and then remove it and immediately get yourself a Link Karibo, which is nice because anytime you can do that and then go into your Master Cerberus play, so you don't have to put the Master Cerberus in your extra monster zone, is nice. Gives you a little bit more freedom. So 1 Link Karibo, 1 Mistar Void because double, what is it, Blue Boy gets you into this, and then if this dies, you can just add back a Blue Boy. Again, there's like, this might seem like outlandish, but the extra deck, believe it or not, doesn't really matter too much with this deck, so you kind of got to be a little creative. So 1 Mistar Boy, 1 land for Rinkus, because just having the generic Link 2 with 2 down arrows can be helpful sometimes when you're trying to Link climb or whatever. So I do like that card for that. Decode Talker. Then we have the Nightmare package, so Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn to round off the Nightmare package. I was playing Scapegoat in the past because I remember you could Scapegoat and go into like Link Karibo, Link Spider, and like Proxy Dragon and make Borreload or Borrelsword. I didn't want to do that this time around because I fucking hate Scapegoat. Personally, I despise it, and I don't want to play it. I don't want to be a hypocrite for that specific reason. I know such a noble cause, but you could play Scapegoat in here entirely. You could modify some of the main deck choices, play Scapegoat, and then modify your extra deck accordingly as well to do that, if that's something you really want to play for. So then we have 1,000 extra Trick for fusions. El Shaddai Winda, still waiting on my Winda to get here, and this is a proxy. 1 Ragin and 1 Sea Monster of Theseus, because with Blue Boy in this, you can make level 7 Synchros, and you can make level 8 with Justice of Prophecy. So like, a lot of people in my stream pointed this out to me, like a couple people. I forget exactly who it was, but like, shout out to my Twitch chat for coming up with the idea for this, because this is like a really, really good idea, because Instant Fusion and Blue Boy just gets you access to a level 7 Synchro if you need it. And it's just a great option to have since we do have the space for it. Raging for removal, 1,000 extra for removal, this card. But Winda being a spellcaster, a lot of times can be a great tribute target for Spellbook and Knowledge. And sometimes if you have Master and you already have a decent search that turn, like you can set this card up turn 1 with Life by banishing Blue Boy and Grave. Or maybe turn 3, the latest. Just getting Winda on board is like super, super clutch to do with Spellbook Life. That's why I really, really wanted to play this, just because it's a stun factor your opponent in most cases might just not expect at all, and it could just easily win you the game. And the next cards we have here are Synchros, because we are playing Theseus and we do want to have some Synchro options. So versus Dawn Dragster, just because it's a 7, it's a decent going first card. Spell Negations is cool. Black Rose Dragon, of course, because having the option to do Black Rose if you have to go second is nice. Opponent's definitely not going to expect that. Yazi, great target as well. Just because like it's Yazi, can't be targeted. It's a nice option to have. It can pop things if need be for spot removal. And I want to play Cyber's Quantum Dragon, but of course that isn't out yet. You can play Moonlight Rose Dragon. There's tons of other options, and I'm playing 1 level 8 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, just because like sometimes you need a lot of removal, and this is one of those cards that can do that. It has the ability to blow up all attack position monsters, you know, on the field, and you can burn your opponent for it. It's just presence, essentially, is what it is. It's like a different Black Rose if you have Justice, and I wanted a level 8 option. There's tons of other level 8s that you could play that are generic. I just decided to go with Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend this time around. You could possibly play Boral Savage down the road, although it might not fit too well in this deck, but I just wanted to have at least an option for a level 8 to go into, and I thought Scarlet was the way to go. But again, there's tons of level 8s that I'm probably forgetting. This is just one that I saw in my binder, and I figured, yeah, it might not be too bad. So yeah, that is it for the updated Spellbook deck profile. I'll definitely be playing this build a lot over the next couple of weeks. Might get some dual videos with it as well. That's actually the plan. Hopefully be getting a lot of dual videos for you guys soon, so bear with me. I'm trying to set up a new thing, a new locals with recording and things like that, so bear with me. We're going to get things going here, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this profile. And again, if you want, check out Imperium Duelist. Give them a shot. Try some of these sleeves. These right here are actually some of my favorite sleeves they have, are these parallel effect sleeves. They're fantastic. I love them. Join Discord. Follow me on Twitch. All those things. And as always, hope you guys are having a great day. And as always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.